Hey everyone, today we're going to take a look at Rosewill's latest entry into the mid-tower gaming case segment, the side window paneled ATX capable Bradley M. Rosewill packs the Bradley M well with preformed foam holders and a protective bag. First thing that stands out is the beveled side panel with large acrylic window, contrasting against the textured semi-gloss black finish. The acrylic side window measures in around 11.5 inches wide and 10.5 inches high, offering high visibility for your interior components. Removing the side panel and having a look at the window, you can see it's held in by folded metal tabs. These can easily be bent straight should you decide to remove the panel for customizing it, or the case. Hey, not everyone likes black, right? Moving outside, we can see the I/O shield cutout is very far to the left on the case. The case provides mounting for an 80mm fan, but it does include a 120mm rear exhaust fan. There's 7 removable expansion slots that are punched for airflow. On the right, we can see that there's a grommeted pass-through allocation for modding potential, say an external pump or a rad. And the PSU is mounted in typical fashion on the bottom of the case. The extruded panel theme is carried over to the other side of the case, as well as the satin black textured finish. And there's good clearance beneath the case for airflow. The feet are injected plastic, and the case has a large non-magnetic dust filter on the bottom of it. It's easily removable for cleaning, and there's lots of ventilation here for the PSU, as well as, if you choose, mounting for a 120mm fan. Removing the front panel gives us a look at the I/O header on the top. There's a blue HDD activity light housed in the center. There's provision for 2 5.25-inch drives. However, there is only one knockout tray for that. We can see injected molded air holes in the center of the panel and air slots on the side. The case ships with a pair of blue LED 120mm intake fans, and the case does have provision for a pair of twin 140mm if you so choose. However, there's no dust filter protecting these. Digging inside the case, there's a large cutout area on the motherboard tray for CPU cooler mounting. Both the 5.25-inch drive bays are toolless. There's a generous amount of cutouts for cable routing to aid in a clean and efficient build. Here's an interesting feature. It's the location of the flipped top mounting area for an SSD right below the 5.25-inch drive bay area. There's also a more standard mounting option for an SSD on top of the toolless hard drive cage. The motherboard standoff holes are labeled appropriately to indicate standoff location depending on the type of motherboard you're going to be installing. Included with the case is a baggie containing the necessary hardware to help you assist your build. If you look to the right, you'll notice that the hard drive cage is fastened in various spots on the case, and it's actually removable if you wanted more space and didn't need it. Panning across the bottom, we can see the generous amount of ventilation holes, and there's padded PSU rests to help minimize vibration. The interior of the case is finished in the same semi-gloss textured finish, and the I/O cabling is all black as well. Here's a closer look at the finish on the case and a note about the fasteners used on the side panels. Rosewill chose captive screws on the Bradley M, so you won't be hunting on your floor trying to find where the little suckers went. The non-windowed back panel is finished in the same textured black satin finish and is stamped with almost 1 inch of bevel. So this is going to seriously give you some extra room when you go to stuff your wires, like close up the build around your excellent wire management skills. Speaking of cable management, the Bradley M provides ample opportunity for you to tie those wires up to your OCD content. From the rolled edges of the knockouts to pass your wires through to the stamped tie-down locations, placing your wires just how you want them shouldn't really be an issue. The Bradley M is made of lightweight stamped steel, so the case is fairly light overall. It weighs in at a mere 12.5 pounds, but thankfully though, the cage is fairly rigid and it does not rely on the side panels solely for structural integrity. I found building an MATX system in the Bradley M to be a breeze, and have an aesthetically pleasing look when finished. You'll get the typical reflection issues on the side window like so many others. The stepped front panel offers an aggressive look to the Bradley M. Now, if you're an uber cabler or your OCD will get the better of you here, you may want to look away. My cable management wasn't perfect in this build, but it's a good representation of what you can do in the Bradley M case, especially when not dealing with a full modular PSU or flat cable wiring. You got plenty of room if you're doing an MATX build in this case. Lots of airflow as well to keep your components cool. Rosewill claims support of up to 380mm long VGA cards and 160mm height CPU coolers, as well as a 240mm rad support on the top of the case. With as spacious as the Bradley M is inside, I'm going to have to agree with those claims. Now, while the motherboard back panel is set very close to the edge of the frame, there's still room to tie up your cables and offer some sense of organization in your build. One thing to note on the Bradley M, due to the positioning of the motherboard tray, it's going to be best to pre-run your 8-pin CPU cable first before installing the motherboard. Otherwise, you won't fit the plug through the hole. With a bevel in the back panel, you can see sliding the panel on doesn't require a hydraulic press or an elephant sitting on it to make it close. A simple slide and snap and you're all set to tighten up the screws. Once the build is all together, depending on your motherboard choice with its I/O panel, you can have quite the contrast in appearance, or if equipped with a black one, it could be very complementary. Something to consider depending on the plan that you have for this build. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with the ease of which it was to build this system in the Bradley M. Lots of space, a large side window to show off your stuff, means you can truly Rosewill in your own way. Just want to thank Rosewill for supplying the case for review. So if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're interested in purchasing the Bradley M, please use my link provided below in the description. And even if the default lighting is blue, it doesn't look too shabby at all once it's lit up. Till next time, take care.